guys. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to my Gig-Olos and Gig-Olettes. It's me, Gio. Y'all know who the fuck it is. Alrighty, it is 4:44 in the AM and overslept. Wanted to be at my first job by 4. It's okay though. So I'm headed to my first one right meow. Luckily, it's not as cold as I thought it would be. Might get lucky. I got my snowblower in the back there. I'm gonna try and knock out anywhere from 10 to 12 snow removals in one day. Most of them aren't that bad. A couple of them are regular, so I know what to expect. And yeah, we'll kind of see how this turns out. But I want to just make a quick video on what happened yesterday with my biggest cash tip ever. It was one of those things where I had a sixth sense about it, right? Like I had to do a moving job first thing in the morning. Took about 2 hours, and I was late to that one too. I overslept really. I mean, that's the story of my life. The last couple weeks is oversleeping. Did my first job it was booked for 9. I got there about 9:35. Took literally 2 hours. It's about I left there at 11:32. Got some food, and then I had to make my way to my moving job at 11 a.m. Or 1 p.m. Sorry. Oh, come on, caffeine. I need it. So, traffic was so horrendous. It was only probably 23, 24 miles, maybe 25 max. And it took me an hour and 20 minutes to get there. Now, on the way there, I remember I kept thinking to myself, because I thought I needed a replacement part for my snowblower. So and I had a Turo drop off to do. I had to go meet the guy at 4:30. So I'm like, okay, I'm a little pressed for time here. I got to be off this job at 3, and I got to go get the replacement part for my snowblower. More on that later. And still got to make time to try to fix my snowblower because I had a client that wanted me at their place yesterday around 5 or 6. So I'm like, okay, I got a lot of shit I still got to take care of, right? At this point, the snow is kind of coming down, and it's really cold out. And I'm telling myself, the other task is going to be late for sure. Other tasks are going to be late. So I had that feeling. And the other feeling I'm going to get, I was like, okay, I've only got a couple jobs lined up today, and it's just not possible for me to make that much money with the amount of jobs I have booked and the fact they're moving jobs. So I'm like, hopefully this is going to be a hefty tip, Hopefully the person appreciates that, we're out there doing hard manual labor and this kind of in these kinds of elements. And so I get there, and she's like, hey, did you contact the other tasker? And I said, no. And she's like, well, sorry, it was my sister or whatever that booked you too. And the other tasker has communicated to my sister across the street that he can't make it because he's snowed in, right? And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I'm here, so let's do this, right? And I see the back of the truck, and there's a bunch of stuff in there, because at this point I'm thinking the other task was going to be late, right? So she opens up the truck, and there's a lot of heavier items, but it's not that many. There's a bunch of boxes, 5 or 6 heavier furniture pieces, and a bunch of cheap plastic IKEA stuff. And she's like, I don't know what we're gonna do. And I was like, well, good news is I still had my appliance dolly in my car because I needed it on Sunday, and I didn't put it back in my garage. So I'm like, well, you got the heavier items here, but with my appliance dolly, we can do it, right? I mean, the floor was slippery. There was still some snow on there. There was ice everywhere. But I'm like, we can do this, right? So luckily her brother was there too. So with the help of the brother, we knocked everything out in about an hour and 45 minutes. And then we spent a little bit of time chatting amongst ourselves too. Got stuck with like a couch. Had issues with this huge kitchen table that was really heavy. But we got it all in there, right? And the other tasker never showed. Complete no-show. Because he claims that he couldn't have safely gotten there. So it is what it is. The client was super appreciative. She told me that she was really thankful and everything because she moved in from Ohio, and she moved because she's going through a divorce and all this stuff. And everything got done, everything got put in the house, and we did it relatively quickly because in fact there was only two of us, and one of them wasn't a young tasker. So we did that, and then she gives me an $80 cash tip. And then the brother took down my phone number because he's like, oh, I always got a bunch of stuff I need moving around. So if you want to help out, that's cool. I'm like, absolutely. Never turned down work. So then I get back to my car. I start plotting my map app towards the place where I have to get my replacement part for my snowblower. And then all this is happening. I'm on the phone with my girlfriend. This is maybe a minute and a half since I last talked to the client. She comes up and she's like, here you go. And she gives me $40 extra. So it's $120. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? She's like, oh, you know what? The other guy, I was going to pay each of you $60, but you did such a great job, and you didn't you really pulled through and everything. And she's like, here you go. And so I was like, awesome, hell yeah. So essentially, I made the extra $120 in cash. I was gonna make $60 no matter what, my sixth sense was right. I knew there's gonna be an issue with the tasker. I just knew, and I knew I was gonna get a hefty tip. I didn't realize it was gonna be that much, but essentially, I made that tip because I showed up on time. It was a tough move, and did it without the other tasker. Now, luckily, her brother was helping. But if I wasn't lucky enough to have my appliance dolly with me, would have been a whole nother fucking issue. And on the snowblower. So it's back in my trunk now. So the snowblower stopped working a couple weeks ago. Just on a job, it just the propellers, the blades stopped spinning during a job. And it was making a squealing sound, so I figured, I did a little bit of research, and the best thing I come up with is the belt broke. I need to get a replacement belt. So I go to this this local distributor for Toro, and I get a belt and everything, and I'm like, okay. So I go back home, get the latch, get the lid open to kind of replace the belt. I open it up, and turns out the belt was not broken. But where the belt system was, there was just ice. I mean, not like fragments of ice, like ice, right? There was ice all over the moving parts and everything. And I'm like, that's why it stopped working. So I was like, okay, well, I got the replacement belt here. So I chipped away at the ice, put the lid back on, put it down, started, and it ran perfectly. So now I know. Now I know when it's that cold and icy and these kinds of weather, I'm gonna have to get under the lid and check the make sure the ice doesn't accumulate like it did. And yeah, so it's working now, which is awesome because I got a lot of jobs today. And walking to and from my car today to warm it up and take the dogs out. It's the kind of snow that's going to be lifted off with the snowblower, thankfully. I still got a couple cars I have to unbury, so it's gonna be a long, hard day. dealers, so I know what to expect. And some of them are digging our cars, which at this point I can, it might be a little tougher today because of the fresh snow, but thankfully I can dig out most cars in less than an hour. And with the exception of 2 of my jobs, they're all pretty much in the city. So everything's kind of working out right now, but remains to be seen how many jobs I can knock out. And yeah, thankfully the snow is done. So yeah, everything. I mean, today's gonna be a crazy day. It's gonna be a wild day, but it's gonna be an adventure nevertheless. So, all right, guys, that's all I got for this one. I want to thank you all for watching. Everyone, please stay safe, stay driven, stay healthy, stay classy, stay warm, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.